My name's Josh Bennett, and I've been a part of the church pretty much my whole life, so let's say 35 years.
My name's Lacey Bennett, and I've been attending the church for about 15 years, and I officially joined as a member about 2 years ago. When I think about what prayer is, like, it's, I don't know, consistency. Not because I'm being consistent in prayer, but because God is consistent. He's always there. Like, prayer is always there. Whether I take advantage of it or not. Nothing in life is guaranteed. Nothing. Except for God's consistency and His availability. And so when I think about prayer, I just, there's assurance in that. It's the one thing we always have available to us. The time that prayer became most meaningful to me, I think, was in my college years. Some people do not know, but my family went through some pretty terrible things and kind of some challenges that happened to me in college, and that's when absolutely prayer was most meaningful, because I feel like prayer rescued me time and time again. When there was no one or nothing else, and God was consistent. It was the only thing consistent. And so prayer was my rescue during those times in college. What it looked like, a lot of times it was like knees and face on the ground, just with tears pouring out. Again, I guess that's why prayer is what it is, because you can't always explain, how the sadness can collide and end up with joy in this, strange equation.
I think that there was a time when, Lacey and I had this great opportunity for a couple of years to live in a really small community and of really intentional people that had that kind of rallied around the same mission. I would say I learned a lot about what prayer is in that time, and being able to pray for other people, especially in specific moments when someone had a struggle that they brought to the group, and we could stop, our conversation and pray right there. That was something that was kind of new for me. I'm probably going to steal Lacey's, but there was one that we gravitated to a lot from Philippians, and do not be anxious about anything. And that one, I feel like so often throughout my day or throughout typical times, I find I'm constantly reminding myself to not be anxious about anything. And it just is it's a command sort of, but a prayer that I pray a lot to try to help say, okay, we can get through this. Whatever's coming up, we can get through this. There's no need to be anxious.
Yeah, that's absolutely mine. When we were preparing, when we were living in China, scripture, memorization was part of like our homework, which not many places gave you that for homework. And that was one of like the TMS, 60 verses to memorize. And I recited that prayer every single day walking across campus. And now almost 10 years later, that's my go-to. My go-to prayer, my go-to peace at the same time is that verse from Philippians, to not be anxious, which I guess is telling of what our biggest struggles are, is anxiety sometimes.
The times I seem to most struggle with prayer and finding the words is when there's so much going on and there's so much to be, things are kind of having a valley moment or something like that, where things are feeling like there's a lot of struggles or stresses for different things, or even what's going on in the world and things like that. When all that kind of comes together as one thing, it's like sometimes I just don't even know where to start.
I think I know we've talked about the kids a lot, but that's just where we are in life. But they're my favorite thing to pray for, and their bedrooms have become like my favorite. Of course, as a mom, like, you spend a lot of time in a nurse, rocking a baby in a nursery, and I find that to be like my favorite prayer space, like, because it's filled with joy. Praying for their future, praying for their health, praying for their future spouses one day, and for people to be kind to them and for them to show compassion. Like, there's unlimited things to pray for your children.
When I am having trouble praying or knowing what to say, it's like if there's a period of time where I just feel disconnected or whatever, it's finding that one thing that I know I can always pray for, and that might just be a time of just giving thanks to God. It might be praying for your kids, because as Lacey said, you can never stop praying for your kids. And that's just, and that sometimes just that one like prompt is what brings that connection back to God, and then the words start flowing. I find that opens up those lines of communication. It really is giving me a better glimpse of who God is, and the more I learn more about who God is, the more I think that informs what prayer is, and the more I learn about what prayer can be, the more it informs who God is, and it just kind of continues to grow together. You know, when you first start out learning how to pray, you feel like most of the time you're praying for other people, and that's kind of what prayer is. You're praying for these specific things. Someone's sick or someone's hurt or something like that. I learn a lot about myself in prayer, and I feel like prayer is it's all just about me. It's all about restoring my soul, and having that communion with God is really just restoring my soul. But then there's other times when I feel like prayer is really all about God, and it's just giving thanks and praise, and so it's and in the end I think it's all of those things. It just keeps growing, and that's what I love about it. That's why it stays fresh. And when it starts to feel stagnant, you can kind of look at it through a different angle, or try praying a different way, or start looking at the world differently to be able to pray for different things, and it continues to grow along with our understanding of who God is.